July 2nd, 1937. The sun rose over Lae, New Guinea, casting long shadows across the airstrip. Amelia Earhart, the world-renowned American aviation pioneer, climbed into her Lockheed Electra 10E, ready to embark on the most ambitious leg of her attempt to circumnavigate the globe at the equator. Beside her was her navigator, Fred Noonan, a seasoned aviator in his own right. Their destination? Howland Island, a tiny speck of land in the vast Pacific Ocean, barely 2 miles long. It was a daunting 18-hour flight, pushing the limits of human endurance and aviation technology. But they never reached Howland Island. Their plane, its brave crew, and all traces of their monumental endeavor simply vanished, swallowed by the immense, indifferent Pacific. This isn't just a story about a lost plane. It's a deep dive into one of history's most compelling and heartbreaking unsolved mysteries, a tale of ambition, courage, and a disappearance that has captivated and confounded the world for over 80 years. Amelia Earhart was more than just a pilot. She was a symbol. In an era when women were expected to stay home, she broke barriers, becoming the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. Her daring spirit, her iconic short hair, and her fierce independence made her a global icon. This round-the-world flight wasn't just a personal quest. It was a beacon of hope and inspiration, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible for women and for humanity. With only 2 major stops remaining, Howland Island and then Oakland, California, Earhart and Noonan were within tantalizing reach of completing their historic journey. The stakes were incredibly high, and the world watched with bated breath, unaware that they were witnessing the prelude to an enduring enigma. The final hours of their flight were a desperate struggle against the elements and dwindling fuel. As they approached Howland Island, they struggled to locate it. The island was tiny, and their navigation equipment was primitive by modern standards. Their last confirmed radio transmissions painted a picture of increasing urgency and confusion. KHQQ calling Itasca. We must be on you, but cannot see you. Fuel is running low. Been unable to reach you by radio. The U.S. Coast Guard cutter Itasca, stationed near Howland to guide them, could hear Earhart's transmissions but couldn't get a clear fix on her position due to technical difficulties and static. The final garbled transmissions faded into silence around 8:43 a.m. local time. Then, nothing. Just the vast, empty expanse of the Pacific. Immediately, a massive search and rescue operation was launched. The U.S. Navy and Coast Guard deployed ships and aircraft, combing thousands of square miles of the Pacific Ocean, centered around Howland Island. It was, at the time, the most expensive and extensive search in naval history. President Franklin D. Roosevelt personally authorized the deployment of 66 aircraft and 9 ships, spending over $4 million. For weeks, the hope of finding them alive dwindled with each passing day. The searchers found nothing. No wreckage, no debris, no oil slicks, no life rafts. The Electra, a relatively large aircraft, and its 2 famous occupants simply vanished without a trace, leaving behind only the agonizing silence of the ocean. The lack of any wreckage gave rise to numerous theories, each more tantalizing than the last. The most widely accepted theory is that Earhart and Noonan simply ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean, sinking to the crushing depths of the Pacific. Given the enormous distances, the challenges of celestial navigation in a cloudy sky, and the limited range of their radios, a small navigation error leading them to missing Howland Island and exhausting their fuel supply is a highly plausible scenario. The vastness of the Pacific means that even a significant plane crash could remain undiscovered for centuries, especially if it sank quickly. But the crash and sink theory doesn't satisfy everyone, leading to more dramatic and persistent alternative explanations. One of the most enduring theories is the castaway hypothesis, championed by the International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery. They propose that Earhart and Noonan successfully landed their Electra on Gardner Island, now Nicomerouro, an uninhabited coral atoll about 400 miles southeast of Howland Island. They then became castaways, sending desperate radio signals for days or weeks before eventually succumbing to injury, starvation, or thirst. Tigger has conducted multiple expeditions to Nicomerouro, finding tantalizing, though not definitive evidence. Possible bone fragments, artifacts consistent with 1930s castaways, and even traces of what might have been their plane's landing gear. Another, more conspiratorial theory suggests the Japanese capture scenario. This theory posits that Earhart and Noonan were on a secret reconnaissance mission for the U.S. government, spying on Japanese military installations in the Pacific. They were then shot down or captured by the Japanese, held prisoner, and eventually died in captivity. This theory gained traction due to the rising tensions between the U.S. and Japan before World War II, and the perceived secrecy surrounding Earhart's flight. While largely discredited by official sources, the allure of a hidden wartime secret continues to appeal to many, explaining the disappearance as an intentional cover-up. The very advanced technology of the Electra plane also contributed to the mystery. It was a state-of-the-art aircraft for its time, modified specifically for this long-range flight with extra fuel tanks. Yet its advanced nature did not save it from the unforgiving Pacific. The challenges of navigation were immense. Noonan had to rely on celestial navigation, which was difficult under cloudy conditions, and dead reckoning, calculating position based on previous position, speed, and course. A small error compounded over thousands of miles could lead them hundreds of miles off course, sealing their fate. Over the decades, the story of Amelia Earhart has transcended history to become an enduring cultural phenomenon. Her image, her daring spirit, and the enigmatic circumstances of her disappearance have made her a permanent fixture in the collective imagination. She represents the ultimate explorer, pushing beyond the known limits, and a cautionary tale of the unforgiving nature of pioneering endeavors. The enduring questions about her final moments continue to inspire new generations of researchers, oceanographers, and amateur sleuths, all hoping to be the one to finally solve the riddle of her last flight. To this day, the ultimate fate of Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan remains one of the world's most captivating and heartbreaking unsolved mysteries. Did they crash into the depths of the Pacific, becoming one with the ocean? Did they survive a landing on a remote island, only to perish as castaways? Or did something far more sinister or secretive unfold? The lost aviator, the final flight, the unsolved ocean. Amelia Earhart's legacy is forever intertwined with the powerful allure of the unknown. The Forensic Storyteller wants to hear your most compelling theories on what truly happened to Amelia Earhart on that fateful flight.